Welcome back to the deep dive. We spend so much time thinking about what kids need to learn in school. Algebra, Shakespeare, historical dates, all important, sure.
Mm, the standard curriculum.
Exactly. But what if, one of the most critical skills for their actual future stability isn't about triangles or sonnets? What if it's just understanding how money grows?
How it works for them, not just something they earn and spend.
Right. Imagine if understanding personal finance, that power of your money making more money, was taught just as fundamentally as, I don't know, physics principles.
That's a powerful thought.
Well, that's exactly what we're getting into today. Our topic is the case for teaching compound interest as a life skill in schools.
Really important one.
It is. And our mission for this deep dive is to really unpack why this, seemingly simple idea, compound interest, is so significant.
Yeah.
How it empowers students, the long-term upsides of building financial literacy early on.
Going beyond just the definition.
Way beyond. We're looking at the ripples it creates. And we're drawing heavily from this great article, The Case for Teaching Compound Interest as a Life Skill in Schools, which is on the Seedling Financial Education Plus blog by IMAR Learning Solutions.
Right. A good source for this.
Definitely. It really frames the argument well. So let's dive in. What is this thing, compound interest, at its core?
Well, it's funny. The article points out it's not really complex mathematics, fundamentally. It's just interest, earning interest.
Interest on interest. Sounds simple.
It sounds simple, but the effect, that's where the power is. It's the interest calculated not just on your initial amount, the principal, but also on all the interest that's already piled up.
Okay.
And that snowball effect, whether it's growing your savings or, unfortunately, growing your debt, that's the whole game changer. Understanding that is pretty much essential for financial stability.
You mentioned the power, and the timing seems crucial here. Starting early makes a massive difference, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The article gives this really clear example. Say you save just $1,000, okay?
Okay, that's complex.
And you get a 5% interest rate, compounded each year. Leave it alone for 20 years. That 1,000 could grow to something like $2,653.
Wow, so more than 2.5 times the original amount just by sitting there.
Exactly. Just through compounding. It perfectly illustrates that phrase they use. The sooner one starts saving, the greater the benefits. Makes you really think about the missed opportunity when young people don't grasp this early.
Yeah, it really does.
And when students get that concept that their money isn't just static, it's actively working, multiplying, it's incredibly empowering.
It shifts the mindset, I guess.
Totally. It shows them a clear path. Small steps now. Consistent saving can lead to really significant growth later. It's a spark, It can ignite that lifelong habit of saving, of investing, making money work for them, not just earning it.
And this isn't just theory, right? The lack of this basic financial know-how has real-world consequences. The article mentions how many young adults graduate. Well, pretty clueless about personal finance.
It's worrying, isn't it? They're sent out into this complex financial world almost blindfolded. It makes them so vulnerable to easy credit traps, bad debt, poor decisions generally.
Like running a marathon without any training, as the article sort of implies.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. If we teach them history and biology, why not this? It's just as vital, arguably more so, for day-to-day life.
So give us another concrete example. How does this play out positively?
Okay, the article suggests a classroom scenario. Imagine students calculating savings. Let's say they put aside just $100 a month. Seems manageable for many, right?
Yeah, doable.
Over 30 years, at maybe a 6% interest rate. That pot could grow to around $115,000.
From just $100 a month, that's huge.
It is. And it shows how those small, steady contributions, powered by compounding, can build into something really substantial. It makes the whole idea less abstract, more exciting.
And it connects directly to their lives. Savings accounts, sure, but also retirement planning. And the big one for many young people, student loans.
Ah, yes, student loans. This is where understanding compounding becomes absolutely critical, because it can work against you just as powerfully.
The dark side of compounding.
Exactly. The article uses this stark example. A student borrows $30,000 for college. Let's say the interest rate is 5%.
Okay.
If they only ever make the minimum payments, maybe not fully grasping how that interest keeps adding up and compounding, that debt could explode to over $50,000 in just 10 years.
So an extra $20,000 just in interest payments? Ouch.
Ouch is right. But if they understand compounding from the start, they're way more likely to think, okay, I need to pay this down faster.
Yeah.
They might adopt more aggressive repayment strategies, saving themselves literally tens of thousands of dollars.
That contrast, the opportunity versus the risk, is incredibly motivating, I imagine.
It has to be. When students see those real-world numbers, the potential gains and the potential pitfalls, they're more likely to value their financial education, as the article puts it.
It stops being a math problem and starts being about their future.
Precisely. They can actually start picturing what financial stability looks like for them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's retiring early, maybe it's traveling, maybe it's just not having that constant money stress. It becomes personal.
And this effect, it doesn't just stop at the individual, does it? The article talks about a ripple effect.
That's right. This goes beyond personal bank accounts. It's about building a healthier economic foundation for everyone.
How so? What does that look like?
Well, think about it. People who understand finance are generally less likely to get trapped by high-interest credit cards or take on loans they can't handle.
Right. Makes sense. Less bad debt floating around.
Exactly. Which can lower overall debt levels in a community.
Yeah.
But it's also about the positive actions. The article suggests financially savvy folks tend to invest more locally, support small businesses, maybe contribute more to charities. It builds a stronger local economy.
A positive feedback loop.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And there's data on this. The National Endowment for Financial Education found something striking. They found that 73% of financially literate people saved regularly.
73%. Okay.
Compare that to only 23% of those who weren't financially aware.
Wow, that is a massive difference. Almost 3 times more likely to save.
It really highlights the direct link between understanding money and taking positive action. And that shift fosters, a broader culture of financial responsibility, empowerment. It creates a healthier economic environment overall. It's a building block for society.
Okay, so the benefits seem incredibly clear. Personal empowerment, societal stability. But let's be realistic. Getting this into schools isn't simple. What are the hurdles?
Yeah, the article definitely acknowledges the challenges. It's not like you can just snap your fingers. A big one is teacher preparedness.
Right. Teachers might feel like this isn't my subject, or I'm not confident teaching finance.
Exactly. Or they might just feel it's outside their already packed curriculum. These are legitimate concerns. We need practical ways to address them.
So what are the solutions? Does the article offer any?
It does, and they're quite practical. One key strategy is partnerships. Schools can and should partner with financial institutions and organizations specializing in education.
Like Junior Achievement. They do good work.
Absolutely. Junior Achievement is a classic example. But it could also be local credit unions coming in for workshops, or maybe even collaborating with fintech companies that have developed engaging educational tools.
So bringing in outside expertise and resources.
Yes, it helps bridge that knowledge gap for teachers, gives them training, provides ready-made resources. It makes it much less daunting.
And crucial to this is making it, well, not boring.
Right.
We can't just hand out textbooks on interest rates.
Please, no. That would kill it instantly.
Yeah.
The article stresses making it engaging, relatable. Think interactive lessons using real-life scenarios kids can connect with. Hands-on activities are key.
Like what? What kind of activities?
Well, one really cool idea mentioned is using simulations where students manage a virtual investment portfolio.
Oh, like a fantasy stock market game, but maybe broader?
Sort of, yeah. Imagine students getting, say, virtual money, $1,000, $10,000, and they invest it in simulated accounts or stocks. They track its growth over the semester or the whole year.
They'd see the compounding happen visually.
Exactly. They can see how different interest rates affect things, what happens if they add small amounts regularly. It makes it tangible, low risk, and honestly kind of fun. It also subtly teaches patience and long-term thinking.
That sounds much more engaging than calculating percentages on a worksheet.
Definitely. It's learning by doing.
So zooming out again to the big picture, the long-term vision here, it's really about more than just individual kids getting richer, isn't it?
Oh, much more. It's about contributing to greater economic stability and growth for the whole society. When you have a population that understands saving, investing, and importantly, the dangers of debt.
Fewer people fall into financial crises.
Right. And more people contribute positively. They build businesses, they invest, they support their communities. It creates this stronger, more resilient economic fabric. It's a virtuous cycle.
Is there data on that cycle too?
Yeah, the Financial Literacy and Education Commission found that Americans with a solid financial education are 20% more likely to save regularly.
Another significant statistic.
It is. It shows how education directly shapes behavior, creating this positive loop of empowerment that benefits not just them, but the next generation too. It's building a stronger foundation.
So the future envisioned in the article, it's one where graduates have, yes, academic skills, but also this practical capability to manage their finance as well.
Exactly. Not just book smarts, but life smarts, financial smarts. It's about equipping them for the realities they'll face, building brighter futures for themselves, sure, but also for their communities. It feels like a fundamental investment in our collective future.
Okay, so after laying all this out, what's the final takeaway? The call to action.
The article puts it very directly, and I think quite powerfully. Let's advocate for including compound interest alongside the Pythagorean theorem in school curriculums.
Wow. Putting it right up there with geometry fundamentals.
Yeah, and it follows with, it's time to invest in our future by investing in the financial education of our youth. It's a bold call, but given everything we've discussed, it feels necessary, doesn't it?
It really does. So, to wrap up our deep dive today, the core message seems to be that understanding compound interest isn't just, helpful financial trivia, it's a truly essential life skill.
Absolutely essential. As crucial as any other subject we teach for preparing people for a stable, independent future.
And we hope, listening to this, you reflect on those benefits, personal, societal. Imagine the potential if this kind of literacy was widespread.
And just think about it for a second. Imagine a world where kids on the playground might actually ask, what's your savings interest rate? Just as easily as they ask about, I don't know, video games or sports stats.
Huh. Maybe not quite like that, but I see your point.
But seriously, how might that shift that fundamental understanding from a young age? How might that change our entire collective financial path over generations?
That is definitely a provocative thought to end on, something to chew on. Thank you for joining us for this exploration into empowering the next generation.
My pleasure.
We'll catch you on the next Deep Dive.